Davy, I know it's human nature, but does it get you down when you see the likes of Presenting Percy, Zanahiyr, Envoy Allen winning? You know you'd have been on those horses. Does it drive you mad, or does it make you even hungrier to come back?
It doesn't drive me mad. No. If I had to be suspended or I'd done something stupid, then yes, I would be unbearable. I wouldn't be able to handle it. I'd have to go off for a walk every couple of hours between races and things. I wouldn't even be able to watch them. But it's just a part of the game now. I got injured. I have to sit it out. I really enjoy watching them. I love nothing more than to be on their back. I can't. There's nothing I can do about it. It's just one of them things. So I'm a grown boy now. I need to, I look at it in a positive way, that they'll be there in March or whenever I get the chance to get on them. So that's the beauty of the bunch of owners and the team of Oven Gardens, and we all play off each other. We all get our chance. So it's not my chance at the moment, and Jack is filling in well, and Keith before him, and there's plenty of other lads around the place that deserve their chance. But it's not driving me mad. No, I'd love nothing more than to be heading off to the races, to be riding these horses, but I just can't at the moment. And it's not that I done anything wrong for that to happen. So, you just have to grin and bear it. And as I said, like I get goosebumps watching some of these horses, to be honest, and just really looking forward to sitting on them.
And Davy, just before Fran takes over, just yourself and Gordon, you have a long-standing relationship. You're friends for many years. The both rode together as amateurs, and obviously there's been a few ups and downs with yourself and Gordon along the way, but sure, we all of those. What sets them apart? What makes them so good?
Yeah, very little ups and downs, would you believe? He's actually brilliant to ride for. I'm a part of the team. And that gives me confidence. He gives me an awful lot of confidence riding for him. He's very, very good to train his horses. He knows his horses. He's got a great team of people around him, and it's just very nice to be involved in it. It's great fun when it goes well. When it's not going as well as it can go, it's still not down and out. Do you know what I mean? You don't get depressed there, and he's again always looking positive, always trying to push on through, we'll say, the lulls, and he'll always find his way out through them, and you're always there just waiting till the day and the horses flip over and they start flying. Do you know what I mean? And he just gives me a lot of confidence riding from him. We had great crack when we were riding as amateurs as well. You were a part of that scene as well. There was a great bunch of us there. We were just very lucky at the time that we started riding as amateurs. We had great fun, and he's always been good. I'd say if he went playing football, he played at a very high level. If he went playing tennis, he played at a very high level. He's just, when he sets his mind to something, he becomes very successful at it, and it's just great to be around. He's just different. He's just different. He knows his horses so well. He sets up a regime. What he set up there from scratch is just phenomenal, and it's just great to be involved in it.
Yeah, Davy, whatever about Gordon, and that's very, very fascinating to hear. But I'm very interested in what you said about riding with Kevin, because I remember when he lost his bottle in Galway in that hurl race. But when it went between the third and second last hurl in Galway, when he went from upsides in front to putting the brakes on down the hill. But can you remember that, or were you around any times?
Yeah, well, the second last hurdle was in a different place back. The second last hurdle used to be coming off the hill, and it was a right trappy hurdle. So, I can understand where he was coming from, but at the same time, Kevin was a little dangerous when it was DK Weld, right? Bellewstown, Sligo, Laytown. You rode a winner in Laytown, didn't you, Kev?
No, I didn't, Davy. It was only Laytown was one of two tracks I never rode a winner on.
Right.
Davy, £7 claimers weren't allowed riding Laytown, I think.
we were back then. It was Kevin got the rule stopped it.
I wrote out my claim, Fran. I wrote out my claim. That is my claim to fame. I don't know how I done it, but I did write it out.
Killarney and all them places, he was lethal. Lethal he was, yeah.
Yeah,
I was the first made a flat jockey, Davy.
Yeah.
I think we'll move on to Tiger Roll years, Kev. What do you think?
I think so, Fran, yeah. Yeah, Davy, Tiger Roll, what an exceptional horse he is. Provided you with your first Grand National winner and then to follow up a year later as well. And obviously, COVID put a stop to a repeat bid to try and get the hat-trick up. But how special is Tiger Roll?
He's something unreal. Like, that was amazing for him to win the first one. That was just really was amazing. It really, really was. I would have had a brilliant entry only for weight. Gordon had a couple of horses there that won that I couldn't do the weight on. And then I think Tiger was my only ride that on the Saturday, I think. I wasn't flush with rides in the entry, and I'll be honest with you, I would have been surprised to tell if someone had to tell me that he'd win. Nothing to do with his ability. We all know he's got tons of ability. I just was unsure that he'd take as well to the fences as he did. But that's just a measure of Gordon. Like he just does things out of the ordinary, and they work, you know. And he was brilliant. He jumped from fence to fence. He was very clever at Beecher's Brook the first time, and I nearly threw it away then. He started jamming on, coming up the straight, and he started staring at the water jump coming up the straight, and the other horse nearly nabbed me. But it was, I don't know, I never thought I'd win a Grand National. You know, I've ridden in so many of them, and you get to the start and you think, geez, I have a squeak this year. Like, you know what I mean? I have a squeak, and next thing you might fall at Beecher's Brook, or you'd pull up by the time you get to the water jump, and you're just wondering, like, what do you actually need to win a Grand National? There's no set thing, and I didn't mind riding Tiger Roll because he was as good a chance as anyone of Gordon's that year, but he just took to it so well. I think it was your call. Did you call Tiger Roll? Did you put me on him?
No, I remember ringing you. I was going to Thurles with Gordon. What's that? Do we want to ride Dunicus in the Irish National? And there was only a week or 10 days between the two of them. Yeah. And we didn't think Tiger Roll would get around. So Gordon was going through the runners with me. And I said to you in Thurles anyway, I said, good news and bad news. Well, what's that? I says, you ride Dunicus in the Irish National. Great, you said. He said, what's the bad news? I said, you ride Tiger Roll in the English National. Oh God, says you, sure. We'll just have to try and get him around. So I was Gordon Elliott's call. If you or I were left to make the decision, we wouldn't have ridden Tiger Roll, Davy.
That's
exactly what happened.
Yeah, it wouldn't really, as I said, it wouldn't have bothered me either way. I'm not so sure I'd have called it now, to be honest. I think he'd something else in there. I think there was something else I had a little bit of a liking to. That kind of fitted the bill for a Grand National. But when you look back on it, sure, it makes perfect sense. Like he took his stamina, and he got around Cheltenham and all them places. And I think the cross country race really crowned him. I think especially for him, it just gave him a little bit more respect for them stiffer fences, you know. And I think Gordon Elliott really crowned him, to be honest. But I never had a moment's worry the first year. Bar Beecher's Brook, a horse fell in front of him and he ducked away from him. But other than that, it was unless he got caught coming up the running. But the second year he gave a couple of stumbles at the back of fences because he was going so quick. He just couldn't get his feet out in front of him at the kind of about the fifth last and again the third last, I think. But he went down over the first 5 or 8 fences the second year, and he wasn't as quick. And I remember landing at the back of Beecher's Brook, and I hit him a slap down the shoulder going to the Valentine's. And Gordon had put the blinkers on him the second year, and he just came alive underneath me going to Valentine's the first time around. And he just absolutely tanked everywhere after that. He was literally, I was swinging out of him the whole way. And then I thought that year that it get to the Mellon Road that he's not going to be able to continue this. Do you know what I mean? He was after being quite keen with me the whole way, and made them couple of stutters at the fifth last and the third last. And I thought, Jesus, he's going to empty out at some stage. But no, he just dropping him from fourth back to third down to the second last, and he just took off. Paddy Kennedy's filly made an error at the last and kind of landed me there a little bit earlier than I had anticipated, but at the same time I was ready for him this year and hit him a couple of flicks up the straight, and he galloped the whole way to the line the second year. He was just really, really good the second year. On fire he was. Yeah.
And Davy, your emotion going by the line. You're now in the history books, back-to-back wins. You tried for so long to win one of them. Now you've won 2 in a row. What was going through your mind?
It was just so unbelievable, Kevin. It really was. I just couldn't believe it. It went by me in a daze the first year, and then the second year, okay, I was able to take it a little bit better. I was able to enjoy it a little bit better the second year, but it was literally unbelievable. It really was. I just couldn't believe that 2 years previous I was never going to win a Grand National, and now I'd won 2, and you're kind of trying to put them up there with Red Rum, you know, and all of that. And maybe COVID mightn't have been a bad thing with him last year, so hopefully he can get there this year in tip-top shape and give the three a rattle, you know.
And to be fair, obviously his run in the cross-country chase at Cheltenham was too bad to be true. I just felt down at the start, looking at him down at the start that day, he was quite revved. He never rose a gallop, did he?
I wouldn't worry about him this time of the year. He's done that in the past. I wouldn't be overly worried about that. He's definitely a better horse in the spring of the year, and the ground was kind of quite testing and gluey on that inside track, and that's probably the one ground that he can't handle, you know. So again, that wouldn't dishearten me too much, unless he's gone home now and he's not happy. But I saw a video of him the next morning and he was pretty happy out in the paddock, so I wouldn't be overly worried about him yet. And I'd like to see him again.
And of course, your son Finn, we've seen loads of videos on social media, whatever else. He's taking a right shine to Tiger Roll, isn't he?
Oh my God, he's a daily, hourly basis in my house is Tiger Roll. I'll never be able to live it down, to be honest. Watched the race thousands and thousands of times, and it's just unreal. If there's an exam in school anyway about the Grand National, Finn is an A+.
So the future's bright for the Russell household. The children coming along. Finn, I know he's only very young, but all he wants to be is a jockey at the moment. Yeah.
His sister is giving him a run for the money now. Lily is very good, and oh God, I have another fella coming through there. He's starts at a kind of around 6:30 in the morning. It ends there around I don't know, roughly about 9 o'clock at night. It's kind of horses. So it's a great pastime for him, and look, they're enjoying themselves. They have a little pony there, and they're all having a bit of crack. So we're looking forward to it.
And Davy, I know obviously it's a long way to go, but would you like to see the kids becoming jockeys, following your footsteps?
Absolutely, I'll leave it up to themselves, Kevin. I'll give them I'll put them in the right direction, or the platform will be there for them. But as you well know, you'd want to be starving in this business to go and give it a good rattle. Like, you have to really, really want it, and I wouldn't be happy unless they really, really wanted it. I unfortunately, it can't be handed to you. You have to go and get it. So if they feel like they want to go out and get it, by all means, I'll help them in any way I can. But unless they have that real hunger and desire to go at it, and it's the same, I'd say, in any walk of life, the same as anything. And I don't feel, I wouldn't be happy for them just to go out and either go out and have a couple of rides and enjoy themselves and be an amateur and have the fun that way, or else go at it gung ho and try and be the best that there has ever been. And either way, I'd be happy. Somewhere along the middle, I wouldn't be too keen on that.
Davy, just you won a French Gold Cup, you won a Cheltenham Gold Cup, and obviously a dual Grand National. How do you stack the three up? Are they just equally different, but on the day they were so important, or how does it work? Or
yeah, three very different horses, and a great question, because the French Gold Cup was it rates fairly high with me because it's so hard to do, and I think it was the last Irish-based jockey before me was, I don't know who it was, but it was a long time anyway. And I'm not quite sure. I'm fairly confident that Lord Windermere wouldn't have won the other two. I'm confident that Carriacou wouldn't have won a Gold Cup or a Grand National. I think Tiger Roll could do anything he puts his mind to. I actually think that Tiger Roll could win a French Gold Cup. I think he could. I often thought of mentioning it to Gordon, but he'd be so concentrated on winning an English Grand National, like it'd be very hard to go back and win a French Gold Cup. But I feel Tiger Roll could run extremely well in a French Gold Cup. The track, the types of fences, and his level of ability could shine in Auteuil. But I'm not quite sure what rating Carriacou would have. If he was rated right, maybe he appreciated a bit of nice ground too, and he'd definitely jump around the entry anyway for sure. He's an exceptional horse to jump, but I wouldn't put it beyond Tiger Roll now to have a go at a French Gold Cup now, to be honest. Have you been to Auteuil, Fran? Have you?
No, I never had the pleasure. I've driven by it and everything, but watched it plenty. It looks a totally different test to what we're used to in some regards.
Absolutely, no. There's a ditch down the back, and you wouldn't. The only place you jump it is out hunting with David Redvers in England. It is massive.
I'd love that one now. I'd love that, David, wouldn't I?
Now, Kevin, I'd say you better stay at home that day. It is definitely the biggest thing you could name a racehorse at. It is massive, and it's some thrill to ride around there now. It's some thrill to ride the likes of Carriacou around there. He's an exceptional horse to jump. The water jump is really big, as in the distance from takeoff to landing. And I've only looked at it from afar. I never rode over the fences there. I rode over hurdles there, all right, but it's something else to ride in a French Gold Cup now. It's special, not alone to win it now. I was very, very lucky to win the French Gold Cup. But it's different again. You actually have to jump a kind of a bank in it as well. There's run up a kind of a mound and back off the other side. So you need a very intelligent horse to win a French Gold Cup. That's why I feel maybe the difference would suit Tiger Roll, because he's quite intelligent. And you start going right-handed, and then you cut down the middle of the track to go back left-handed. So you'd want, if you were making a run, you'd want to walk the track now. You know, it's not just a matter of jumping out and going. You know,
going around the park track. Yes, yeah.
Takes a bit of riding now. Yeah.
And Davy, just anytime I was injured, you'd also obviously have plenty of time to think and take stock. And it's a funny year with the COVID and everything else going on. But as a jump jockey and a jockey that's been around for a long time, is there anything you'd like to change? You know, there's been talk of a summer break for jump jockeys. It's 12 months a year. Is there anything that pops into your head that we could work on as a sport? Or
yeah, there's nothing that's going to substantial, but there's loads of maybe minor things, and a break during the summer for both punters, jockeys and trainers, horses, everything would be a plus. I think the day is gone for firm ground horses, and I don't ever want to see it return. And I think the race, the Turf Club and HRI and the tracks around the country have done a marvellous job that way, and also separating the half meetings, like half flat, half jump, because it's very unfair for the flat lads to go out on a 2-year-old on watered ground and vice versa for jump jockeys to go out on firm ground or firmer ground. So I think they've done a wonderful job there. I can't see a reason why a certain period of the year that a jump jockey should be allowed to shut down, take stock, jump in the car, and not have anything in the back of his head thinking that he's going to miss something or he needs to be somewhere or do something to just shut down the engines. I think that would be a huge, huge plus. I think it'd be good for the industry. I think there should be a finishing date and then a wind up to a starting date back. I don't think there'd be anything wrong with that. I think it would be a plus more so than a negative. I haven't put a whole load of thought into it. I haven't thought about it too much, to be honest, friend. There's bits of things there that you'd love to see changed. I'm not so sure about these rubber hurdles. I think Easy Fix have their place in certain tracks. I'm just a little bit worried about these rubber hurdles. They're in Mallow and they're in Wexford, and I think the old style hurdles are the best hurdles myself. I wouldn't like to see an introduction of them in too many places. I don't think horses jumping well. There's quite a loud noise off them when the horse in front hits them, and I've seen in Mallow at the first hurdle there's some very erratic jumps come from horses in behind. So that's maybe one thing I wouldn't like to see introduced, but definitely a summer break of 3 weeks that a jump jockey can go and just turn his mind to something else. You know, it's a little bit you're on the wheel there. I haven't got off it actually in quite a long time, you know, and you're kind of waiting for an injury to get off it, you know, which is not a good thing either.
Yeah, Davy, obviously our Cheltenham preview bandwagon has abruptly come to an end for next year, isn't it? We're not going to get any few Bob next year, are we?
We'll manage something. This Zoom thing is very workable, Kevin. Don't you worry about that.
Will we be able to charge as much though with a Zoom call? No.
Oh, we'll be able to do it. We'll be able to do it with Zoom calls, I'd say for sure. Yeah. We better get on something anyway.
we better get on to Aidan Cairns, I suppose. He's our man for the Cheltenham previews.
I tell you what we'll do, Kevin, is we'll compile a panel of ourselves and we'll sell it over the Cheltenham period. So how does that sound?
Davey, you know me, I'm always up for making a few quid.
Yeah, and not all to keep the wheel turning.
Exactly. We'll bring Barry with us this year, I think. Will we, Fran? You coming on the Cheltenham preview,
I done one with the Perry in Newbridge last year, and I stuck my hand up and said, "What about the Champion Hurl?" I said, "Well, Super Sunday's no chance," and I shot down by 6 experts beside me: Davy, Mark Walsh, all these lads. Super Sunday will win the Champion Hurl.
Super Sunday.
Not you, but all the other experts were saying, "Oh, Super Sunday, great run in Leopardstown." I said, "I know I was in the bar for the Irish Champion Hurl, but that wasn't a good run. That wasn't a good run for." So after that, no more Cheltenham previews.
I know you're turning your hand to this national hunt game, but you wrote a couple. When you made the transition from flat to riding over them few races over hurdles, what prompted you to do that, and what prompted you to stop? Because you were successful at it, like, you know, it looked like for a time, was it weight that had sent you that way, or?
Yeah, completely weight, and no Dundalk, Davy. We stopped in the first week of November, and that was it till March. 5 months without riding, and all I wanted to do was ride. But I was getting up in the mornings, even when I was jumping, doing 9.7 to sweat at the minimum weight, you know, over jumps that time. But then it just went the other way. It came good. So.
And did you enjoy riding over jumps? I don't think I wasn't professional when you were riding over jumps.
I really enjoyed the good winter hurdle racing, the good tracks. I done summer jumping 2 summers, and as you said, it was firm ground back then. And I said if I have to do that, I'll throw my hat at it. So I had the option to go back, you know. But this winter jumping, fantastic.
Fran, I can't believe he's forgotten you, and he didn't say well done in your Cheltenham Festival winner.
Oh, I know.
Yes.
Kev is currently sitting in my sitting room because he's too mean to buy broadband, Dave. I'm going to play the video back later on to him.
Did you wear what you? There was red. You wore the red and what color hat? What color was your hat? Red and
it was a red with a white star, and I've been second on him the year before to top C's, and Barry Fenton rode top C's course. The court case had just happened, and the crowd booed him coming in, and I thought they were booing me. I was only 17, you know, I was after finishing second, but anyway, we won the next year.
And for you to put in words, was there when you're walking, have you ever felt anything like walking into the parade ring in Cheltenham? Did that feel like you've reached something special?
Yeah, it was magic because I was second year before, and you know, going back with one chance basically of a winner, and you get the nod, and it took ages for the photo finish, and then it was Patrick's Day, the roar of the crowd and everything, and I done my only one attempt at the Frankie Dettori leap, and I done that. I came off fine, but the horse spun around and nearly wiped out JP McManus and Christy Roach, so that was that would have been
That would not be good for racing.
No, but no. Look, winter jumping and riding good horses. It was nothing better for me at the time, but it got me going in the flat. Funny enough.
Yeah. No, it's the most enjoyable sport of them all, to be honest. Yeah.
Except if you're Kevin.
Yeah, just raking in the money from it.
Yeah.
No, like I always wanted to be a flat. I grew up in the Curragh, Davy, like Fran. I grew up dreaming about riding Derby winners and Guineas winners, not that Gold Cup Grand National rack.
You have plenty of Tipperary in you there as well. You're okay. You're safe enough.
Davy, it's been a pleasure. Thanks for taking the time. Been very, very informative as always with you, and we look forward to seeing you back in the race course, and hopefully not too distant future, and a speedy recovery. Davy, thanks a million.
Thanks, lads. Thanks very much.